Simon Told Helen wins a half length. Zach Benelli second.
Welcome to Greyhound Gossip.
Peaky Blinders start cheering for Tommy Shelby wins the WA Sprint Championship final.
Featuring Peter O'Neill and Leia Ernest.
Mozza moves up to Mermaid Manelli. Fab's Gem 3 deep. Here comes Fab's Gem.
Hard Style Rico by 5 lengths to Simon Told Helen. Third Tommy Shelby.
This segment is dedicated to the discussion and promotion of greyhound racing.
Cindy's Oliver, Rockstar Patriot, Paul Stewart, back-to-back with Rockstar Patriot in the Galaxy.
Handsome Prince, a bolder clear. The former Tasmanian Handsome Prince has won the $1 million chase.
And a very good morning, everyone. Tuned into Greyhound Gossip this public holiday. And as always, a very good morning to you, Peter O'Neill.
Good morning, Leia. Good morning, everyone. Wonderful weekend of chasing we had over the weekend, both at Mandurah and also at Cannington. We started off with Cannington on Mandurah on Friday night with the chase final, and West On Fever was successful, Leia.
Yes, and then we had the Keith Harding Canning Trophy on Saturday, Pete, and Crumble Manelli took out the win there.
Yeah, good win by Crumble Manelli, a greyhound who went 29.74. So he's gone 29.71. Not sure if he can go any quicker, but he's a greyhound that's got a really good record. He's won 13 of 16, and he was able to get across from box number 8 against the field that he had to come up against. And, of course, he'll go into the heats of the Perth Cup this Saturday night as one of the leading chances. So looking forward to that.
We are very much looking forward to that. There's plenty happening on the show this morning, Pete. We're going to get straight into our first special guest of the day. And I speak of Peter Howell, the manager of Greyhound Racing. A very good morning to you, Peter.
Yeah, good morning. Great to be in the studio on this public holiday Monday.
Thank you for coming in on this public holiday. And we've got lots to cover, Pete, but first we're going to kick off with the Mandurah track update, which is coming up very shortly. Can you tell us a bit about what we can expect?
Yeah, certainly can. So those that aren't aware, last meeting will be there on Sunday the 19th of March. So we'll be getting straight in there on the 20th, hopefully, and starting the track works. And it's essentially a new track and a bit of other bits and pieces around on the outside. So I guess the main thing is the new track will be replaced with 4% cambers and 4% on the straight, and 8% on the bends, and a little bit wider to make all that happen. The starting boxes will be fairly similar, give or take maybe a couple metres here and there, but essentially the same distances. And speaking of those starting boxes, they're going to be all brand new Steriline boxes. Catching pen's going to be widened. It is quite a narrow entry down there, so it'll be a little bit easier for the greyhounds to get in there. Steriline, safe chase lure, etc. will be permanent down there, similar to what Cannington and Northam has got now. New semaphore board. The Mandurah board's pretty tiny down there, so we're getting a new Brooks semaphore 10 metre by 2.5 metre board there in front of the grandstand. That's going to look fantastic. New LED track lighting, so it is quite dark down there, especially out on the back straight. And other features like the ISOLinks technology as well, so similar to what you see on Sky Channel with those tracking and the speeds, etc. So, yeah, it's going to be quite a big project kicking off March, and hopefully all going well with not too wet a winter. We'll be having that all ready for trialling at the back end of September for October racing. That's very exciting. And just having a look at the list here that we've got in studio, a lot of it is sort of aimed towards the welfare of greyhound racing, would you say? Yeah, it certainly is. So that's the whole point of getting this, the disruption of Mandurah is to improve the track and the facility, not just for the people, but also for those greyhounds racing out there day in, day out.
Good morning to you, Peter. Mandurah is going to have a big final Friday coming up, the renovation celebration on Friday the 17th of March. And from what you're saying, with their slight changes, all of the track records will be whatever's standing on that Friday or the Sunday will be standing forever. Yes, quite potentially. I can't guarantee that those last final distances, that'll obviously come with that final survey. But, yeah, there might be some slight changes. Some may also hold the same spot. So that will just determine once it's all done. But, yeah, you could be right there. And what are the changes going to affect in regards to Cannington and also Northam? So what days are we expecting to race at Northam? And in Kennel Notes during the week, it looks like we're going to have some of the meetings during the day.
Yeah, so Northern will be picking up 2 meetings a week. They're standard Monday, and they will also be racing up there on a Thursday. And for the first part, from March to the end of May, they will be daytime slots, so similar to your Monday, and then potentially in June to the back end of that Northern Thursday season, moving more to a twilight fixture. And Cannington will pick up those 5 other days. So, yeah, certainly busy for our other 2 tracks.
Is there going to be enough time for trialling?
The club will be doing the public trial schedule to adjust that. So, wait for Greyhounds WA, Dennis O'Brien. They'll be announcing that. But, they will be able to put extra trialling sessions on at Cannington at Northam. And, those that use Eric Campana's track as well. Hopefully he'll be able to pick up some of that slack.
We're going to see some Eastern States visitors coming across, and you can tell us this morning that the nominations will be closing tomorrow morning.
Yes, certainly are. Perth Cup and Galaxy, the Tuesday nomination closing at 8:30, and hopefully we sort of have an idea of some of the ones that are coming. Hopefully we might get a few surprises as well, but we're certainly getting some quality and not necessarily quantity, but the quality that is coming is fantastic.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Just on Northern, I noticed there was around about, 40 trials there on Saturday, and from all reports, everything went well?
Yeah, the stewards went up there midweek and approved that track for trialling. Yeah, hopefully we see quite a few greyhounds get up there just to re-familiarise themselves with the track, as we know it is a bit of a unique one. And, trainers will take that opportunity, and we really look forward to getting up there on Thursday the 23rd. Will be that first meeting before the Mondays kick in as well.
All right, speaking of new tracks and everything happening, Pete, we've got a little bit of information here in regards to a potential Mandurah site.
Yeah, correct. So we all know we are looking at another greenfield site, a new Greyhound track, and RWWA has purchased some land adjacent to the Mandurah trotting track down there, 67 hectares, so it's a massive plot of land. And at the moment, RWWA is working with the Shire of Murray to get the rezoning done. That does take a bit of time in that sort of space. So, certainly in the meantime, however, there will be the plans done up to see how a potential Greyhound track might fit on that piece of land, similar to what you see at Murray Bridge, where they have the straight track and the big circle all combined into the one facility. So that's something for the industry to, we're certainly looking forward to, and it is happening in the background. So some of these things just take a bit of time.
And just one other question on the Mandurah track. You mentioned Steriline boxes. Are they the same as what we've got at Cannington and Northern?
Yeah, I believe so, Pete. I'm not exactly fully across the specifics of them, but just brand new everything down there. No, none of that Mandurah sea air rust will be into them yet. So all brand new stuff.
All right, looking forward to that. Tell us about the preferential box draws, because races 1, 2 and 3 today at Cannington. There are a maiden over the 275 and also a novice, two novices over the 275. We've got the first time in Western Australia preferential box draws. Tell our listeners how that works. Yeah,
and I suspect the first time in Australia. New Zealand have been trialling the PBD races. If you're watching Sky One now, you'll see this is a PBD sprint with preferential box draw. They've been doing that for quite a while, where trainers can nominate the early running trait of their greyhound. At the moment, we're working with Railer, a straight runner or a wide runner, and then the box draw will be done to, at best, try and get those greyhounds in those preferred areas. Now, race 1 today is probably the best example of what we would like to see where a good spread was achieved. Greyhound 1 was declared as a railer. He got box 1. The next 2, 3 and 4 were all nominated as straight runners, so they drew those sort of middle boxes, and 6, 7, 8 were all declared as wide runners, and they have drawn where they want to be. So the aim is to hopefully get a bit cleaner running into that first corner, and where greyhounds can be positioned, where their preference would be, rather than having that random box draw. So, we'll see how this trial goes. It is a trial. If it goes well, we will aim to expand it into further distances and potential grades. But we've started with the young dogs that are learning their way.
Is there any way in the race book for Racecaller and also the general public that we can actually have where the trainers have requested their greyhounds to draw?
That will come with time. We're a little bit ahead of the computer system development getting this off and running, so we've done it very manual at this stage, and that will be coming in time as a bit further development can be done by our Auschase team. So yes, certainly the answer is yes, just not just yet automatically.
All right. Looking forward to it. It's exciting, as we've seen over in New Zealand, and it looks like it's been fairly, it's improving the safety and also the amount of interference that we're having in races.
Yeah, certainly, hopefully it will. It won't necessarily help with greyhounds that miss the start or don't jump quick out of the boxes. This is just putting them their preferred running trait early on, and we'll see how it goes. But race 2, for instance, 6 of those greyhounds boxes 1 to 6 all declare themselves as Railer, and in that situation, boxes 1 and 2 are probably quite happy, but box 6 and 5 probably not so. But you can only work with what you get in the nomination pool of that race.
And as you said, once we get more of these races happening, more information will be loaded into the system, and then that will be able to assist the punters as well. Peter, thanks for joining us. Thanks for giving us the update on the new track and also what's happening with Mandurah. It's exciting times, and obviously exciting times at the moment with the Perth Cup heats coming up on Saturday night. The nominations closing 8:30 tomorrow morning, and we've already got 3 slot holders that have announced for the Sandgroper, of which you've been a big part of, and of course Tab Touch has She's a Pearl. Ladbrokes naming Victa Damian last week, and Total Container Solutions have come out with Electrified, so it's starting to build.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I have heard rumours of a few others that will be announced very soon as well, so that's very exciting.
What are they?
Because they're rumours, but got to let those people have their moment in the sun and announce it in due course.
I knew you'd say that, but I just thought I'd ask it and throw it in. Pete, have a good day.
Not a problem, thank you.
Looking forward to it, and looking forward to our next special guest, Leia, because going back a month ago now, we saw this young pup come across from South Australia and take out one of the Group 1 features at Wentworth Park.
Favourite to bounce, box 5, Victa Damian, they're set. And they're racing now, and he was away well, Victa Damian. Starline Express out fast, leads to the first corner. On goes O King and Victa Damian, who's across onto the rails. Out wider is Go Bears, moving up third, and Rockstar Apollo fourth on the rail. They're followed then by Lawless. Next is Palawa King. Well back is Gozo King and Rockstar Gunner. Off the back straight at Starline Express, joined and headed by Victa Damian. The South Aussie's taken the lead. He's raced away. Victa Damian, a dominant win in the Derby. He won it by falling. Starline Express. Go Bears third, fourth in Palawa King. They're followed Rockstar Apollo.
A fantastic win there by Victa Damian in the National Derby earlier this year. And we're about to be joined by Lisa Rasmussen, the trainer of Victa Damian. Lisa, a very good morning to you.
Hello, how are you going?
Going well, Lisa. Leia Ernest and also Peter O'Neill with you. Great to have a South Australian, and one of the famous names from South Australia that we see on Sky Racing every week with racing coming in from South Australia. You've got an exciting young pup in Victa Damian.
Yeah, we sure have. We're very, very proud of him, that's for sure.
We just replayed the National Derby at Wentworth Park. That was back in late January, and since then he went to Melbourne. He won a heat of the Australian Cup, and then probably didn't have a lot of luck in the final behind Fernando Mick. He's only had 13 starts. He's won 9 of them, and you've already been offered a slot, and you've accepted the slot with the company Ladbrokes. You must be really excited that you'll be heading back to Perth, and we'll talk about your trip across this week, but back to Perth in April for the Sandgroper.
Yeah, it's amazing, and just an honour to be even considered as, one of the better dogs in the country for a company like Ladbrokes to come and say, hey, do you want to join our team and represent us? And yeah, words don't explain how excited we are for the journey that we're on at the moment with him.
Lisa, tell us a bit about this journey. You've got the Perth Cup coming up, which you guys have decided to bypass, but representing Ladbrokes in the Sandgroper next month. What is the time process of when he'll be travelling over to Perth for trials?
He's flying over Friday, and he'll be staying with Linda and Chris Halsey. And, with Tony's going over with him, and he'll have his trial Saturday night, and then they'll fly back home and then off to the Easter egg heats. So it's another week break he'll have, and then it's the Easter egg heats and hopefully semi and hopefully final, but you never know. And then he'll come home and then fly straight over to Perth again on the Tuesday because of Easter. Adelaide don't have flights on Easter Monday. So we'll get there on the Tuesday and settle him down for the week before the Sandgroper.
Now, Lisa, we're very friendly over here in Western Australia. Our nominations haven't closed yet for the Perth Cup, and you're coming over Saturday, which is heats of the Perth Cup night. Can we convince you to run your star, a greyhound that's won $160,000 or $170,000 in stake money, a Group 1 winner in our heats of our famous Perth Cup?
It's very tempting, but because he's such a baby, we don't want to push him. We realise that if he does make it through to the final of the Easter egg, he'll have to race, 6 days later in Perth. But that'll be the first time he would have ran 4 times in a row, if you know what I mean. So, he's just having a couple of starts and then a week off and a couple of starts and a week off. So that's how we just want to take him at the moment and just select our races. But don't worry, the Perth Derby is very much on the cards for him because he just makes the age for that, I'm pretty sure.
It'll be exciting to have him across here. As I said, he's won $170,000. He's only had 13 career starts. He's won 9 of them. And the patrons will be able to get to see him trial prior to race number 1, I believe, on Saturday night. As I mentioned, the Rasmussen name, it's famous in South Australia, and we watch it over here regularly and follow you and make some good money out of your greyhounds. How does Victa Damian compare to the greyhounds that you've had and you've travelled with before?
Oh, he's by far the best that we've ever had. I think I've said it before, no one in their right mind, and I would be the same, if I lived in Victoria, New South Wales or Perth, would send a dog to a trainer in South Australia because the prize money just isn't there. So that's simple as. So for him to be bred by some very good friends of ours, and we've raced a lot of the dogs for them, and for them to keep him with us is an honour as well. So, they're a good South Australian family that my parents have known Ron and Joan for years. And just to be, I'm lost for words. I can't say how honoured we are to be able to train him and then not to send him anywhere else. So, that's kind of quite a thrill.
Did he always show a lot of ability prior to his first maiden win, which I think was back in October last year at Angle Park?
Yes, he did. We got him, Ron and Joan reared him and sent him away at the Breakers, and Dave Knocker of Victoria broke him in and came back with more wraps than, a double wrapped flake, so to speak. So, and then we started doing the pre-training with him, and he was just running race dog times before, you put a pup around that you don't expect him to run the times he was running. And we thought, we'll give him a bit of field experience. So we put him with his brother, Victa Albie, who actually, he won at the Meadows on Saturday week ago, so we're pretty proud of him too. Put them together, and Albie just gave him the old hip and shoulder on the first corner, and he tore a bit of his shoulder blade muscle, and it was like, oh my God, what have we done? So that was a bit scary at the start. So in a way, it kind of worked out quite well because it made us put him back a little bit and give him a little break that he probably needed before we started racing him for, good and proper after that.
Lisa, before
it's exciting for...
Oh, sorry, Pete, you go.
Yeah.
It's exciting for Ladbrokes to be able to get such a young pup like you to be able to race for them in the Sandgroper, which is worth $500,000, Lisa. So that's exciting for you, as you mentioned before.
Yeah, and all credit to them. They approached us before he ran in the final of the Derby, so they had, a pretty big vision. So, good credit to them for getting in nice and early.
Well, Lisa, we wish you the best of luck, and we're looking forward to having you as well as Victa Damian over here on Saturday. Hubby will be over there this weekend, and I actually want him to be able to make it to the Sandgroper because I've got a girl due to whelp on the Thursday. So, I'll be home doing all the puppy bummy duties. So of course.
That's fine with me, though.
We wish you both the best of luck anyway, and we'll be very excited to have him here. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for asking.
All right, Lisa Rasmussen there joining us on Greyhound Gossip this morning, and we're going to get into our next special guest, Jason Lincoln.
Now on Greyhound Gossip, we welcome the Greyhound guru, Jason Lincoln, from Sky Racing.
She's a pearl in full flight at the home turn. She led it by 6 on Coast Model. Richard Otter getting up on the inside. But this is greatness from a champion. She's a pearl, win the $10 million chase.
And a very good morning to you, Jason.
Yeah, good evening to you, Lara and Pete. Hope you're well.
Evening.
You're going well, Jace.
It is. Yeah, feels late. Yeah. 48 degrees here today, so I'm just being sapped of every little bit of energy I've got.
It's been a big weekend for you. We just had Lisa Rasmussen on. Ladbrokes making the announcement that Victa Damian will be running for them. A really good effort, I thought, yesterday by Pearl. What did you make of her run? She's trying to go back-to-back in the Temora Cup, and she's drawn well in box number 2 for Jodie Lord there next Sunday.
I was disappointed with the run personally. I spoke to Joe a little bit this morning. He took the opposite view, and you could certainly find merit in her run. She came out probably 3-4 lengths behind them, or behind Salad Dodger. I just would have liked to have seen her let go a little bit better in the early stages, and I thought she got to a position where she was entitled to win the race and didn't. People will point to the time and say, well, they broke the record and she's gone faster than last year. Well, that might be the case, but the third dog was making a lot of ground on her late, so you've got to beat the dogs you're up against, not the clock. It wasn't, as I said, it's a run you could find merit in, but, when you're $1.35, you're expected to win.
Yeah, I thought the run was very good and the time was very, very good. And Jodie Lord, as you know, with your experiences with her, she knows how to place the greyhounds, and obviously the main aim for her is still 3 or 4 weeks away. So she'd have a lot of improvement on that run.
Yeah, look, she only had the one trial at Goulburn, and I think that was a couple of weeks ago. So she will improve. It is a pretty tough run home there at Temora, but we'll need to see her do it next Sunday.
All right, Saturday night we had a star, one of the stars of Australian Greyhound racing in Perth, and this is how I described her exhibition trial at Cannington. Wow, she's fast.
Wow, she's fast. She does a solo trial here tonight. She's ready and racing. She came out quickly. She'll go straight to the inside. So we'll have a look at the clock. The $2.36 million stake earner, 5.56 the first split. She hugs the inside and she's right on the arm as she goes towards the back straight. Second split now coming up and it goes 13.90. So she's humming along down the back. $2.36 million. The Group 1 Temley winner, and off the back in 18.50. So she's flying. She also won the Maturity, the Sapphire Crown, 2 Phoenixes. She's here for the Perth Cup and also the Sandgroper. Welcome to Perth. Wow, she's fast. She stops the clock. 29.94 at a first look, and we look forward to seeing her again next week.
What did you make of the run there on Saturday night? Her time wasn't overly quick, but as I spoke with Kel Greeno after the race, Jason, she'd just come straight off a 4-hour flight. She'd only just landed in Perth. He said that she is a much better race dog. So he was a little disappointed that he said that, she'll improve, and she stays with Kira and Steve Withers during the week. So he's looking forward to her going around in the heats of the Cup on Saturday night.
Look, again, you'd have to be disappointed with the time. I take on board what Kel said, that, she only got off the plane 4 hours earlier, so obviously that's not an ideal preparation. You'd expect to improve. Wouldn't pay too much. I couldn't give any credit for the fact that she's a better race dog than trial dog. She's trialled very, very fast everywhere she's been, so I wouldn't use that as an excuse, but certainly the preparation would have been against her. As I said, a little bit underwhelming. We were sort of talking, weren't we, between ourselves, what we thought she'd run, Pete, and she ran outside of that, but she'll be better for it.
As you mentioned last week, you had spoken to Total Container Solutions, your contacts over in the eastern states, and they signed the deal with Electrified late last week, and Ladbrokes also came out with the announcement that Victa Damian will run for them. So now she's a Pearl, joined by those other 2 chasers, and 3 slots filled, and there's 5 to go. We're still awaiting those, and it's going to be some more news, I believe, coming out early this week. Yeah.
Well, when we spoke a few weeks ago and you guys sort of asked me, pardon me, about the timeline of it all, I sort of thought, leading up to the heats, the Perth Cup, that pretty much everyone would have to be settled on their dogs. There's a lot of unconfirmed runners at this stage. We don't really have it 100% confirmed that Where She's Fast is running for Sportsvet, do we, Pete, at this stage? Has that been?
No, we don't, not yet, no.
Yeah. So there's a lot of, we expect this dog and we expect that dog, but as you said, the ones that have been booked already are certainly very exciting dogs, in particular Victa Damian. He's, aside from Rejuvenate, who's arguably the fastest, not even arguably, I wouldn't have thought, who is the fastest dog in Australia at the moment. He shattered the record at Shepparton the other night. This dog's probably the next most exciting youngster going around.
Couch Surfer was very impressive in a prelude of the Galaxy there on Saturday night. Defeated Moraine Susie. I thought she had every possible chance in the small field. He was able to clock 41.82. He's now won his last, I think, 8 in a row, and he's the $3.50 favourite with Tab Touch at the moment for the Galaxy. And as I mentioned, the heats on Saturday night. The nominations closing at 8:30 tomorrow. Are there any other Eastern States greyhounds that can come across to challenge him?
Well, I don't know who else is coming over. I'd take an opposing view to you about the performance of Moraine Susie, though. I thought she was in all sorts of trouble in the early stages, and as a consequence, her run was very, very good. First look at the track. I know she's beaten 7.5 lengths, but I think you saw last year when dogs like Mapunga Ruby and Co went over there that they were a little bit disappointing their first look, but I think they ended up, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the interstate dogs ran 1, 2, 3 in the final in the end in the Galaxy. He's going to be certainly the best of the local hopes.
Mambo Manelli.
Mambo
Manelli blew him away. Yeah.
I thought her run was perfectly fine. Moraine Susie. The stays over here take it in turns, so it may well be that he's going to put his hand up to be one of the better stays around. He's certainly very unexposed, and he's a promising dog, but I wouldn't be giving him the trophy just yet.
Jace, just to touch back on Rejuvenate, which you mentioned earlier on, having a look at the board here with the Perth Cup with Tab Touch, Rejuvenate's currently $15, and then we've got, of course, Wow She's Fast, $5, Electrified, Crumble Manelli and Throttle both $7, Amron Boy at $8, but Rejuvenate at $15, would you think that that's something you'd jump on this far in advance if there was confirmation that greyhound was to come over?
Oh, if there's confirmation, you'd want him to have a look around as well. But if there's confirmation, he'd be the equal favourite. I think there's no chance that he's coming, as far as I'm aware. As I said, I don't have anything concrete. I haven't spoken to the owner, but it's my understanding, even speak to someone this morning, that he has said publicly elsewhere that he'll be sticking to the big tracks for the immediate future with Rejuvenate and not looking towards the bigger sort of two-turn races until the end of the year. So I'd say you're not much hope of seeing him.
Yeah, just back to Couch Surfer, I disagree with you, and we've disagreed a few times this morning, and you disagreed with me last week. He was last out. He was last out last week. I reckon you grab the 350. I think he starts at $1.90 in the final. There's no greyhounds in Western Australia that can match him. He just has the brains to be able to go underneath dogs, go around dogs. He's very, very clever. His win the week before was awesome. He went as quick on Saturday night. I know she got squeezed going into that corner, but that's what's going to happen if you haven't got that early speed. And I'm still waiting for him to land on the arm and run some really slashing time. So I think he's
I'm only playing devil's advocate here, but I will power to Justin, Chris and Linda, but let's see what he does when he draws an outside box against good opposition, eh? He's had the red the last 2 weeks, Pete.
Yep.
Yeah, as I said, let's see how he goes when it's a bit deeper and he draws out wide.
I spoke to Justin Warwick, and you'll say I'm mad here as well. I spoke to Justin Warwick. He went to Cannington for the first time, leading thoroughbred trainer in the past. He's trained Perth Cup winners in thoroughbreds. He's driven, I think, into Dominion winners and WA Pacing Cup winners for sure. And I suggested to him that Couch Surfer can win the Galaxy and then come back and run in the Sandgroper. He said I was mad, but I then went through my thoughts of how there's so much speed going into that first corner in the Sandgroper with these quality dogs. He misses the kick, he'll be able to get up on the inside and hit the lead going down straight. I think I have him thinking about it. What are your thoughts? Am I totally mad?
Completely mad. Once you go to 700, you can come back to 600, but he's not coming back to beat the best 500-metre dogs in Australia the next week. Come on, Pete. Even the map that you've just described for yourself, there's going to be 7 dogs who can run at least what he can run in front of him. So, no. And just look at Justin Warwick. I mean, he everything he said is absolutely right. He's kicked every goal possible. I mean, I still remember when he hit the scene in the training ranks, both he and Lindsay Smith completely revolutionised the way that harness horses were trained in this country with their interval training and whatnot, and the way that they tacked lengths onto horses like Allwood's Chief and Co to win some of those races that you just described. He'll go down as a bit of a game changer in the harness racing game for sure, Justin.
Yeah, Wow She's Fast went 29.91 the other night. We had your favourite dog in Crumble Manelli go 29.74. We've seen Couch Surfer go quicker than that over the 500 as a younger pup. He's better now. Amplify got beaten as an odds-on favourite down at Mandurah last week. She needs to draw an inside draw. I don't think there's a lot here. Throttle has been off the scene for a little while. Electrified. Wow, she's fast.
What you said is right about him, Pete. I mean, he is on the way up, but I mean, he's record over 500 metres, and I've just got it in front of me here. He's won 2 from nearly 10. His 2 wins over the 500. Sorry, he's won 1 from nearly 10. His 1 win over the 500 was in a maiden. So you're gonna put him then up against the best 500 metre dogs in Australia, expecting to beat him. You can run any time you like when you're racing maidens, Pete. It's up to You've seen it yourself. Good young dogs, when they come through the grades, of course they can run time, but what can they run when they go up against the better ones that go a bit quicker early, that give them more competition for the bunny? Look, it just sounds like I'm poo-pooing Couch Surfer, and I'm a massive fan of him. I'm making the dog to follow after his first start on the pen. I love the dog, but yeah, he's not going to come back to 500 and beat these dogs.
Okay, so we've got 3 slots through. Who are going to be the next couple that come from Western Australia? Crumble Manelli's going towards the Easter egg. We've already seen that Layers dog Panama Pepper's been sold and is also going towards the Easter egg. Throttle will go to the Robertsons, and then you've got the likes. There was talk last week of Amplified Elite Machine. They're currently $17 and $21 in the Perth Cup market as we speak.
Yeah, look, we've spoken about him ad nauseum, so it just sounds like a bit of rinse and repeat. But Crumble Manelli's the dog. He's got the early pace. Early pace wins these races, not dogs that are out the back running last. They like Couch Surfer, giving big starts to dogs that can run the same time as you. So I think Crumble's an absolute must for someone.
He won't go on he will not go on the Sandgroper.
You don't think he'll come back?
David Hobby will not be able to do a deal with anyone.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Well, that does throw it up in the air because, again, you only hear these things second-hand, but I'm hearing that not everything's A1 with Throttle, and we just don't see him race, so it's obvious that he has issues. The dog can run like the wind, but been so long since we've seen him race, you'd say he's no guarantee. Yeah, look, and then you're probably getting down into some of those other dogs you mentioned, Pete, like Amplified and co. It'll be interesting. The point you made earlier, I'd expect a couple of others to be sewn up by the end of the week. So that'll give you a little bit better guide of what the lay of the land is. And, I mean, especially if you've got 4 or 5 dogs in position, you can, a dog like Crumble Manelli, for argument's sake, you're sort of trying to pick a dog to even fit the map of the race. You take Pearl out of it and sort of wow, she's fast. And, Victa, Damian, Amron Boy, these kind of dogs, they're not brilliant early. There's every chance that Crumble Manelli could lead any of those dogs we've just mentioned, Pete, which gives him a massive, massive show in the race should he make it. But, I guess it's all down to slot holders being able to convince the owners of their connections that, it's a good deal for them, I guess.
Just before we let you go, and we appreciate the chat this morning, it's been robust. Horsham Cup, can you give us a winner?
I'll be 100% honest with you, Pete. I haven't really put any thought into the Horsham Cup.
Okay. Baby JC's at 340 drawn box 4 and Mandurah Warrior at 420 with taps out. So it's a fairly open market.
Yeah, look, it's a decent up race. I mean, probably indicative of the calendar, isn't it, at the moment, that we can only get 4 heats, not full fields. I know the Maitland Cup heats are on Thursday night as well, Pete. At last notice we've had to extend nominations there as well. So, it seems to be the way around, certainly on the eastern seaboard in any case with these feature races that we're struggling to get, even 4 heats these days. Look, there's plenty of good one-turn dogs in that race you just mentioned. Maybe JC would be hard to beat, but, you could probably toss 4 or 5 of them up in the air there, Pete, and give them a good hope.
All right, and one thing to wrap it right up, this is the last question. This might actually put you in a better mood because you sound like you're in a grumpy mood today after Pearl.
No, I'm not in a grumpy mood at all.
He said it's hot over there, Pete. He's just sweating.
It's hot, that's right.
Well, it's hot, but you also want honesty, Pete, and I'm not going to, you and I have known each other 35 years. I'm not going to dance around the truth with you.
I love it. Keshi Boom is a racehorse that's trialling next week, which I believe that you're a part owner of.
Wow, try and keep these things secret. You go and telling your massive audience about these horses that I'm now in. I don't know. I think she's going to trial at some stage the next week or so, isn't she, Pete?
Next week she's trialling, yes. Monday.
Okay.
Yep.
Beautiful. I'm very excited, I've got to be honest. I've sort of been... I find myself checking my emails at least 3 or 4 times a week. It's usually 3 or 4 times every 6 months, just waiting for the email from Cass Harris to tell me the latest on little Pia. So, looking forward to her. If she can, it'd be a thrill if she could get to the races on the weekend of the Sandgroper, and we could get out there and see her. That'd be unreal.
Well, we're looking forward to having you back in WA next month, Jason. Thank you for joining us on the show.
No worries, Leah. Thanks, guys.
Fantastic, and a lot of bickering happening between the both of you there, Pete, on the show today.
Okay, we'll keep this date down, which is, what is the date today? 6th of March, Couch Surfer. I've put it out there, and I think that Chris Hollis is a remarkable trainer, and with the assistance of Linda Britton, I think he can win the Galaxy at Leia and then freshen him up and bring him back and be a real player in the Sandgroper final coming up on the 14th of March, so on 14th of April. It's exciting times for WA Greyhound Racing. The nominations for the Perth Cup and the Galaxy, they're closing 8:30 tomorrow, so around about 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, Leia, we'll know how many fields we've got, how many heats of both the Cup and also the Galaxy, and then we'll be able to march into Saturday night, and you'll be out trackside at Cannington Saturday night from 6 p.m, so come down and say hello to Leia and the team. David Short will be joining us as well, and we will be live from Cannington with each and every race and all of the participants joining in, as I'm sure they will, and making it a real spectacle and great listening for the Greyhound followers that can't get to Cannington.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to giving all the action out for our listeners trackside, Pete, both on heat night as well as a final night. We are racing today at Cannington. The first of 12 comes up at 6:04, and we'll be joining you about half an hour prior for your thoughts trackside.
Have a great day.